Hello and welcome to another episode of the Finding Serenity in the Midst of Chaos podcast. Today we are talking about finding your life's purpose after a major life event. And we have a guest expert today, but this episode is especially for you if you ever get that is this it feeling that there must be more to life than just going through the motions every day. You're feeling a little bit lost and lacking in direction, or looking for a purpose that is bigger than you. Stay tuned because by the end of this episode, you will have an understanding of about your own inner GPS, have a clearer idea of this Japanese term concept reason to live, and you'll discover a hidden language that you didn't even know that you had. Finally, you will realize that you are your own guru and the power of the universe is within you. I'm so excited for this episode, so stay tuned. Hi, Jenny. Hello.
It's like, hi.
We have Jenny Wilson today, everybody, and I cannot wait to have this discussion with Jenny because she is going to tell us so many things that I didn't know about for a long time. So this is going to be exciting. Jenny, please, first of all, tell us who you are and what you do and who you help.
You. My name's Jenny Wilson, and I'm a travel guide for the soul. And I help people who are looking for their life's purpose to rediscover their unique gifts and help them start living the life their heart desires.
Oh my God, I love the everything that you just said. Travel guide of the soul. Tell me a little bit about that first.
Well, I want to emphasize the guide part rather
Okay,
than I don't tell people what to do, because
sure.
they have their own inner guide. It's
Mhm.
more I I encourage people to remember and remind themselves that inside themselves they have the entire wisdom available to them. There's nobody on the entire planet who knows themselves better than they know themselves.
Yeah.
But it's very easy for people to forget who they are or to stop listening to those little signs or little, oh, should I do that? Oh, I wonder if I should do this.
Yeah.
We're very good at switching these inner messages off, especially when we're distracted or busy or going through.
Mm,
We like to distract ourselves with other things to
that's
feel
true.
busy and things, but there's a very powerful way of reconnecting with our inner GPS, finding out what it's actually trying to tell us and
Mm.
helping us navigate through our own journey because you know we're all on a journey, aren't we?
We are indeed. Well, I'd like to ask you, Jenny, what brought you to this journey in the first place?
Well, I have had lots of training for this particular role, but I didn't realize it was training.
Oh, okay.
Throughout the whole history of everything I've been doing, I I started off initially working in IT as a background in computer programming,
Wow.
and my undergraduate degree was in English language and literature, and I always loved writing and reading. And I thought, right, I'll just put that to one side. I'll go into IT. And I was very happily programming away for about 9 or so years. And then I suddenly up sticks and planted myself in a foreign country when my husband was relocated to Belgium.
Okay,
And
as you do.
he 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 assured me it would be for 6 months tops. It'd be a great adventure. And it wasn't quite 6 months. It's so far 17 years. And
Okay.
it was quite an upheaval to adjust to life in a country where you don't know the language.
Mm.
And everybody else around you seems to know exactly what they're doing. And you feel like an alien, like you've been dropped on the planet. And then I had a baby and I sort of dropped my whole IT, that sort of fell by the water, and I was trying to get everything adjusting to life as a new mum in a foreign country. And it was baptism of fire. It was wonderful, but it was scary.
Yeah.
And my daughter arrived a couple of years later, and everything was fine. And we had our own little crew on our little ship sailing along. And then, out of the blue, about 11 years ago, I was diagnosed with a heart condition.
Wow.
And it was the single most traumatic thing I think I had experienced at that time. And I spent a long time thinking, oh, why me? What? Why? What's going on? How could this have happened? I didn't smoke. I wasn't overweight. I was outraged actually that this could happen. And um, trying to process this whole thing in Belgium. And I mean, I don't know how I got through it at the time because it was also, but you do, you just carry on. You put one foot in front of the other.
That's right.
And then I discovered, purely by chance, that I had signed up and I'd forgotten I'd signed up for an evening talk on color therapy. And I don't know how my name got on the list or didn't even remember signing up, but I was stressed out of my mind. It was the night before a really quite scary hospital appointment. And my husband said, go and enjoy it, take your mind off things. So I did. And I sat down thinking, what am I doing? What a waste of time. I could be sitting at home and watching House. And we were asked to choose a particular colour. There were lots of silk scarves on the table that the lady had set out. And I picked one. And I realised, oh gosh, I have to have this colour. And it wasn't a colour I wore. It wasn't on my radar at all. But I had to have this particular colour. And there was another lady, and she said, I wanted that colour too. And normally I would have said, sure, of course, yeah, here you go. And I said, oh, sorry, no, this is mine. And I was determined this was my colour. I couldn't let it go. And every colour had a little card associated with it, with a meaning of what was going on for you at this particular time.
Okay.
And I realised, oh, it's written for me. This is the story of my life on a tiny piece of paper. It was like this colour was speaking to me, and and something inside me switched immediately.
Wow.
And I floated home after that and thought, right, okay, this is interesting. Something's going on here. The next day, I had my hospital appointment. It went much better than I expected because I had this sort of change in. I don't know what it was. It's something shifted anyway, and I knew I can deal with whatever it is. It's going to be fine. I will deal with whatever comes up. I've got this. I'm amazing. This is going to be fine.
Wow.
And I signed up for training in color therapy as a practitioner, and I studied and I became one. And it changed the course of my life. And then I realized after that, I use it every single day. Really, it's like a understanding. Oh, what does this mean? Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's why.
Okay.
And one of my other hats I wear is I'm a language tutor, teaching people English, beginners mainly. And so I know what it's like to be, completely lost at sea in a strange country and not being able to make yourself understood. So I help people learn English for some of my time. And I realized that the structure and the grammar of the language that I've been teaching them, it's mirrored in the language of the soul and everything, wherever you are, whichever country you live in, we all speak the language of the soul.
That is fascinating. Everything that you've just said so far is fascinating because, of course, I resonate with some of the things because I too have landed in this completely foreign country that was 28 years ago as a PhD student all by myself and, spend most of my time crying, in fact, longing to go home and all that. And yes, 28, I only came for a year or two. And 28 years later, I'm still here. I have a family and all that. And I totally resonate with all of that. But you said earlier that, what you do now is to help people find what they truly desire in life. But what is it that stops people from even entering into this, what they truly desire, or even admitting to themselves what they truly desire?
I think fear is a big part of it. And this whole, um, we give ourselves a bit of a complex about, oh, that would be lovely, but who am I to do this particular thing? I mean, I am guilty of it myself. I wanted to be an author. I wanted to write a book for years and years and years. And I always put it to one side because I thought, I mustn't be there. Who do I think I am? Nobody would be interested in this. And then this was one of the byproducts of my massive life change. And I thought, oh, why not? Why don't I? If I don't get this out there, then it benefits nobody. And it was this, I didn't care anymore about what other people thought. It was because it was like an upheaval. I thought, well, if I can handle this, I can handle a few people thinking, oh, Jenny, what? She's writing a book. What does she think? Doesn't, in the scheme of things, I don't care. It had to come out there. It had to, it my soul was gradually telling me more. It was more and more insistent. Oh, you can be a writer. And my fear of what other people thought or sort of trying to conform into what everybody else
Yeah,
expected. It's
sure.
this sort of once you step out of this desire to conform almost, you realize, it's so liberating,
Yeah.
it's I think fear is a big part of it. And we're driven quite well. If you think of a car and you're in theory, you know that you can drive your car,
Yeah.
but sometimes it feels like you're sitting in the passenger seat and someone else is driving your car for you. And you don't want to say, actually, can we go left here? Or, oh, I need to go to the supermarket, but just go in this way because you don't want to appear, I don't know. You just don't want to speak up and tell them, I need to stop now.
And that's just all
And
fear, right? Coming from the
yes, the
fear.
whole truth is that we are always our own drivers. And I still have this fear as a passenger in my car now, but rather
Yeah.
than him in the driving seat, driving me along and me going in the passenger seat, I'm in the driving seat now, and he can come along for the ride if he likes, but I'm in charge.
Yeah. We said talking about a concept of reason to live, which is ikigai in Japanese. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Certainly. In fact, I have, if I can share my screen, I've got a little image. Can I do that?
We can put that on the show notes, maybe, because this is an audio as well as the video, so we won't be able to share.
Okay.
But yeah, we can put a link into somewhere so people can definitely go and check it
No,
out.
I'll just describe it as best I
Sure.
can in that case. Ikigai is a Japanese term for reason to live. And it looks a little bit like a four-petaled flower, and every petal is a circle.
Sure.
So if you imagine four circles and they all meet and interconnect in the middle of this.
Sure.
So the first one of the petals is your passion. circle. This is what you love doing. Another circle or petal is your profession, or whatever it is you can be paid for. Another circle, the third circle, is your mission, which is what the world needs.
Mm.
And then right at the bottom, we've got the vocation circle, which is what you're really good at, what feels like, oh, this is no effort at all. I could talk about this for hours and hours. It doesn't feel like a chore. I'm just in the flow, And right in the very center where all of these four petals interconnect, this is the sweet spot. And this is your ikigai. This is your purpose or your reason.
Mm. Cool.
And
That
that,
sounds amazing. Yeah.
yeah.
And that brings everything together, isn't it? What you're here to do, what's the mission, what you're good at doing, what brings you joy. And what was the other part?
What you can be paid for.
What
So
you can be
you're
paid
getting
for.
rewarded for this.
Yeah. I mean, do you see for all our listeners who are looking for the next step in their life and have that fear of taking the next step? It doesn't have to be hard. People often ask, how do I find it? Where do I find it? It's probably staring you in the face most of the time. And you're not aware of it because you're denying yourself because of that fear that we've spoken about. And it doesn't have to be so hard. What could I get paid for and could be doing this all day long and brings me so much joy is a simple question to ask yourself, isn't it? And even sometimes, what could I do all day long, even if I don't get paid for it, because it brings me so much joy, because the joy essentially attracts the payment and everything else that you can desire, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
yeah. So.
Yes.
That sounds really cool. So, I mean, what would you say to people who are looking for their life's purpose, and just a few words of wisdom from your own experience?
I would encourage them to trust that they already know
Yeah.
deep, deep down what it is their soul has been trying to tell them, and not to be afraid of taking a deep breath and going, okay, what do I need to know? And you are your own guru. Nobody, there are all the billions of people. And how many is it? I don't know, is it 8 billion people in the world at the moment, growing all the time? Nobody on the planet is more of an expert in you than you. And one statistic I love, and I use it all the time, is that the statistics of you being born right now in all your glory is 1 in 400 trillion. There is nobody else on the planet with your unique set of experiences, combination of different perceptions, gifts. You are here. You are uniquely placed to serve your purpose. And you are 1 in 400 trillion.
That is a mind-blowing statistic, isn't it? And you know what? People are so scared. We can all be very scared. Oh my God, what if it fails? Or what if I succeed? What is it going to be? But that's your brain trying to keep you safe in your general routine, which is, its main function. But also, if you go down one path, let's say it didn't work, you can choose something else.
Exactly. That's the whole beauty. If you think of your GPS when you're driving along, if you take a wrong turning, nothing grinds to a halt, it just recalculates. Boop, 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 boop. And it may take you a little bit longer, but enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Different scenery, it gets you there,
Plus, there is this whole saying is that no matter how bad things seem, life is always rigged in your favor. So even the bad, if you like, in inverted commas, experiences are actually there for our learning, for our growth, for our own evolvement. So
You're so right.
those bad experiences are there for us to live so that we can find the right path. And, that's
Totally. I mean, the beauty is because we're human, we have this human tendency to give meaning to everything. We look for meaning when might not necessarily be a particular. I mean, we are hardwired to find meaning in something. And if you take two separate people, for example, they might interpret the same event. Let's say we've been talking about transformational life experiences.
yeah,
One person could interpret this as, oh, despair, awful, awful. The other person could view it as, okay, well, this is an opportunity. There's something I can grow from this. There's
yes.
something I can learn from this. And it's all about the attitude we have, how we can choose to control our responses to certain experiences. And we can view things as, okay, what can I learn? How can I grow from this? What is this teaching me? And we can take it and go with it from there. Or we can just throw in the towel and curl up. And it's entirely up to us how we respond. We have this freedom of choice, almost freedom of perception.
Yeah.
And we choose our responses.
We choose our responses, and as a result, we choose our experiences, like you say. Whatever you say about the event, what good can come out of this? Because then you're asking your reticular activation system in your brain, looking for all the good that's going to come out of this situation. Literally, as if you're looking for red cars on the road, you're going to see all the red cars, and
Exactly.
a specific red car especially. So do the same for your brain. What good can come out of this? And some good will come out of it. But again, like you say, it's a choice, and it is absolutely in your hands to interpret and choose that experience. And this is we've had that. I don't want to go to that party, I'm going to have a bad time. You've already decided you're having a bad time, and that's it, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
that
Yes.
same applies to everything in life. Every experience that we have, we can choose how we want to experience it. Yeah.
Exactly. And if we apply this sort of the secret sauce of gratitude, really, even in the most horrendous situations that we might find ourselves in, there's always something that we can be grateful for and think, oh, wow, yeah, gosh, I'm so lucky this happened to me because, now I know, blah, 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 or whatever. And I find that this attitude of gratitude, it, it, the more you focus on things to be grateful for, the more
Things to be
the
grateful
more you
for
have to be
comes up.
grateful for. So
Yeah.
it's win-win,
It is. It's funny, last week we had a lot of floods in the area that we're in, and we were going to school to drop my kids off, and we went through this village road. We went through a really big puddle, which we just about managed it. The next puddle was so much, it was like, we're never going through that. We went straight back to the main road, which meant that we were late for school for 20 minutes. But then I said to my son, look, be grateful that you're late for school, because you could be sitting in that puddle trying to get out in that flood. And because of that, now, even though the traffic says 20 minutes, 25 minutes in the main road, we've tried it because we're not going through the puddles again. It's actually 10 minutes. So the traffic information was completely incorrect anyway, which meant that we had to go through the village roads, which was a lot longer. And now we're saving petrol, saving time, saving energy. And it's just, you see the good that came out of
There
being
you are.
20 minutes late, right?
That's an extra couple of days you've added to your life if you add up
That's
all of those
right.
10 minutes. Yes, but what a
Exactly.
gift.
What a gift indeed. But it's,
Yeah.
everything. Some people tend to call this toxic positivity, which I don't believe that the toxic and positive doesn't even come in the same sentence in my
No, nor
interpretation. But,
mine. Exactly.
But yeah, it's great. Jenny, it was wonderful to chat with you. So how can people find you? How can they reach you?
Well, I have a website. My website is www.iamjennywilson.com. And if you'd like to sign up for my newsletter, you'll receive my free ebook, The Hidden Language of Color, as a PDF. And you'll also get my soul wisdom on a weekly basis. And I have a YouTube channel, Jenny Wilson Soul Language, where you can find all of my podcasts and short videos to
Excellent.
transform your journey.
Oh, excellent, Jenny. It was lovely talking to you. I will put all those details in the show notes and on in all this today. If you love this episode, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and share this episode with anyone who might benefit from it. And we will see you in another episode